it's me, Janae again, and I'm excited about this one. I have to admit that this series that I'm fixing to talk about is one that I didn't want to read. I really didn't. Even though I look for aliens pretty much every time I go outside at night, I'm not big into them as far as books and movies go. So when I heard that the Lux series was about aliens, I'm like, no, mm-mm. And then I started seeing all these teasers with this cute guy on it that said, "Hey kitten," and I was like, mm-mm, no, I wasn't digging the "Hey kitten." But there comes a time that you keep seeing a certain series over and over again, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna read it. Oh my goodness. Am I ever so glad that I did. I love this series so much that not only do I, of course, have all the ebooks, but I also have every single one of the hard copies signed. And what's funny is that she signed it with my once upon a time least favorite phrase of Damon Black's. And now I was like, she called me kitten. These books are so pretty. They've redone all the covers, so some people didn't recognize them at first whenever I shared them. They're like, what is that? And when I said the Lux series, they're like, oh yeah, I've read that. But it looked different. It's like hologrammy. It's so pretty when the light hits it. So, life happened just now. And even though it seems like just a few seconds to you, it has been several days to me. Which is a good thing because it's gave me time to harness my inner fangirl and calm down a little bit. So my excitement from getting my new books has worn off just a bit. So that will allow us to get on with the good stuff. The Lex series starts out with Katie Swartz moving to a new town and making friends with her neighbors. Her first encounter with said neighbors is with Damon Black. Of course, when she first sees him, mm, and he opens his mouth, she realizes he's a real jerk. Total turd, but still cute. But unlike Damon the douche, you've got his sweet sister Dee, who you immediately fall in love with, and her and Katie become instant friends. You soon come to the realization that Damon does not want Dee and Katie being friends at all, which leaves yourself asking why. Why can't they be friends? Well, we soon learn it's because they're aliens. And in Damon's eyes, human alien friendships are a no no. They lead to trouble. Damon, Dee, and Dawson, who is their brother, and he comes in kind of later in the story, they're triplets. And this story isn't just about their kind, which are Lexan. It's also about other aliens, hybrids, Area 51's brought in the mix. Just just a lot of stuff. It's great. It's hard to talk about this book series and not give away a lot of spoilers and the plot line, but I will say that it is action packed. Not only is there this alien human romance that goes on between Damon and Katie, who he calls Kitten, which I now really like, but there's also a lot of alien turmoil that they bring to our world and Katie's life, and it's just great. Not only are there just Luxon in this series, but there's also other types of aliens, hybrids, just some crazy stuff that Jennifer has bestowed upon us. And I am so glad that when they approached her about doing the series, and she was kind of like, I don't know, that she only hesitated for just a little bit and went ahead and wrote it, because if not, we would all really be missing out on a great series and hopefully movie, which I've heard is in the works. A lot of people are confused about the new covers, the new names of the books, and I realized that when I shared it on my page, and even though it says Lux on it, people's like, what is that? So I thought I would kind of give you the lowdown real quick. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the series, or you're familiar with the original covers, you'll kind of know what the new books are and what they look like. So the first and second books, which are Obsidian and Onyx, are in this book, Beginnings. It's thick. The third and fourth books, which are Opal and Origin, are in this one, Consequences, which is also pretty darn thick. The final installment in this series is entitled Opposition, which also has the prequel to this series titled Shadows in it as well, which is good to kind of give you a preview of what's going to happen in the story, and it mentions Dawson. So I ended up reading Shadows after I read the first four books, and it worked out okay. So you can read pretty much the prequel when you're supposed to in the beginning or at the end, whenever. It's just kind of a little bonus that Jennifer has gifted us with. So, whether you like aliens or whether you don't, when it comes to the Lux series, it really doesn't matter because it's really good. It has action for those who like action. It's got romance for those who like romance. It's got Damon for those who like book boyfriends. It's got it all. And I have to admit that Katie is pretty kick butt in this series too. So to wrap it up, if you've not read the Lux series by Jennifer Armentrout, I highly recommend you do so. She's good. Thank you all for watching. And the fact that you hung out this long is pretty impressive.